Our journey begins in the early days of colonization, when enslaved Africans were brought to the region. These individuals brought with them diverse cultures, languages, and traditions, which gradually interwove with the existing Argentine culture. As the nation developed, Afro-Argentines played a crucial role in agriculture, music, and even the fight for independence. Black people have had a huge influence on Argentina's history, but now they make up only 1% of the population of Buenos Aires. We'd like to think that it is common knowledge that anti-blackness is a global phenomenon, but unfortunately, the targeted whitewashing of known history has prevented that. History has been whitewashed so severely that often, the extent of racism across the world is masked. The country that has been the most successful in whitewashing its population, history, and culture is Argentina. Afro-Argentines are people in Argentina of primarily sub-Saharan African descent. They are popularly known to have formed a significant part of the Argentine population in the 18th century in 1778. According to a census by its Spanish colonial masters, Black people made up 37% of the total population of the South American country. By 1857, 79 years later, the Black population had dropped to 15%. Argentina is considered the whitest country in South America, which is odd considering that, like Brazil, they were colonized and subjected to Spanish colonists, shipping in African slaves from the west coast of the African continent. Currently, Argentina's population of European ethnicity constitutes 97% of the population. This is a disturbing figure taking into account that by the late 1700s, nearly 50% of the population in the interior of the country was Black, and between 30 and 40% of the population of Buenos Aires was Black or mulatto, reported the Roots. When asked about Afro-Argentine, most Argentinians believed that Argentina never took part in the slave trade, or that the Afro-Argentines left Argentina naturally. Both of these theories are wrong. So, what led to the reduction and near eradication of Black people in Argentina? What actually happened to Black Argentinians is so disturbing and inhuman. It would be shocking that it wasn't being taught in classrooms if the world wasn't so inherently racist. It is widely reported that the president of Argentina from 1868 to 1874, Domingo Faustino Sarmiento, undertook a covert genocide that wiped out the Afro-Argentinian population to the point that by 1875, there were so little Black people left in Argentina that the government didn't even bother registering African descendants in the national census. On a broader scale, the elimination of Blacks from the country's history and consciousness reflected the long-cherished desire of successive Argentine governments to imagine the country as an all-white extension of Western Europe in Latin America. During his term, Sarmiento instituted highly oppressive and deadly policies to eradicate Black people. He segregated the Black community from European descendants, placing them in squalor, with no descendant infrastructure and healthcare. This became a death sentence when cholera and yellow fever outbreaks ravaged this community, with no adequate measures to prevent or treat the illnesses. Sarmiento's genocide also constituted the forced recruitment of Afro-Argentines into the military, mass imprisonment for minor or fabricated crimes, and mass executions. Sarmiento also enlisted Afro-Argentinian men in the army to fight the Paraguayan War in 1864. Allegedly, Sarmiento knew that Argentina wouldn't fare well in the war, sending thousands of Afro-Argentine men to their deaths. The war impacted the gender balance so severely that Afro-Argentine women were forced to have children with white or mixed Argentinian men. The endeavor was punished by Argentinian leaders and intellectuals who wanted to erase the Afro-Argentine presence from all parts of Argentinian life, including culture. The tango is Argentina's most prized cultural export, but according to early art relating to the dance, it has African origins through the influence of Black Argentinians. The tango has deep roots in the former African kingdom of Congo and is currently considered one of the world's most beautiful dance forms. Legendary white tango dancers Carlos Gardel actually had Black composer and poet Gabino Ezeiza as his tutor, which shows an Argentinian dedication to not associating the tango with any form of blackness. The marked racial discrimination that has fed Argentina's erasure of the black history is outstanding, and it has caused multiple reverberations for generations. While the lives of black people are lost, the black consciousness and black accounts were also lost to history. In recent times, sequel to the reemergence of the black community in the 20th century, Afro-Argentines continue to fight to bring back and keep the black accounts in Argentine history by telling their stories. A memorable feat was achieved when November 8 was assigned by the Argentine legislation to celebrate Maria Remedios de Val, the Afro-Argentine soldier who fought for Argentina during the Argentine War of Independence in the 1810s. Since 2013, November 8 officially referred to as a National Day of Afro-Argentine and African Culture, has served as a day when Argentina revisits and celebrates its African roots. Across the world, movements have erupted to fight back against the systematic erasure of black humanity. So seeing a country who almost succeeded in removing blackness from its identity, it's chilling. It seems every day black people are finding just how much we are despised just for being ourselves. And on top of that, we have to deal with living in a world that would let something like this happen with little to no international outrage. The amnesia that Argentinians enjoy has led to comments like Argentina has no black people. One thing is certain, white Argentina will find it very hard to completely get rid of black footprints in its archives, which is a good thing, especially for the Afro-Argentine, who have been denied a substantial part of the ancestral history, are proudly celebrating their identity like never before. Festivals, art exhibitions, and educational initiatives are helping to shine a light on their stories, ensuring that their history continues to be passed down through generations. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating explorations of African history and culture. Until next time, cheers. Have a good one.